All right, we'll start recording. And so thanks everyone for your interest in the Train and Trek program with AdventureTripr. We've got a quick, presentation, but it's not going to be a presentation. It's just so that Swiha and I remember to cover all the points. So we're just going to use these slides as pointers. So I'm going to share my screen and run through those so we cover everything. But the idea is to talk about what we're trying to do with the Train and Trek program, and specifically the trek that we've picked up for this very first year of this program that we're running along with Pratham. But we'll spend most of the time, say about the first 30 minutes, talking about the trek and how the fundraiser will work as well, and leave the last 15 minutes for questions. And feel free to leave your questions in chat. In the meantime, we'll probably try and take some questions, at logical points as we present as well. But that's the plan overall. With that, I'll probably just, pull up the presentation. Can everyone see my screen? Awesome, cool. All right, we have a couple more people still joining. Let me get them in. Alrighty, so maybe start with those of you, I haven't met before. This is the run-up. We're gonna do the intros. I'm gonna introduce myself in a few seconds here, but then we're gonna mostly focus on what this trip is, what the trek is all about, talk a little bit about Pratham fundraiser and how to, move forward from here. In terms of introduction, I'm Preeti. I'm the founder of AdventureTripr. I used to be an investment banker and a consultant before this, but I'm very passionate about outdoors. I'm a mountaineer, photographer. I decided to, make my passion into my profession. But basically, the quick backstory is that I leveraged outdoors for my postpartum recovery, both physical and mental, and I wanted to make that possible for as many people, as I could reach. So that's how AdventureTripr, to make adventures and outdoor adventures accessible to as many people as possible. Like I said, I'm a mountaineer. I've climbed 4 out of 5 Washington volcanoes. And I also was I still am a hike and a climb lead for ASHA. ASHA is another nonprofit that runs a climbing program where we train folks to climb Mount Rainier, Baker, and as a part of the training, we take them up Mount St. Helens and Baker. We're not talking mountaineering and climbing here today, but just that's some context and background. And that's where a lot of my knowledge. I'm trained to climb mountains and trained to train people to climb mountains. So I have the skills and the knowledge about, gear, etc., which is useful on treks in places like Iceland. And like I said, I'm the founder of AdventureTripr. We've been covered extensively in, travel media. So what is AdventureTripr? We're not a tour operator. We're more like a platform. Think of us like an Expedia, but we're focused on the niche of multi-day adventure trips. What we do is we're a team of passionate mountaineers, bikers, runners who scout for the best local guides and the best experiences across the world. And we bring those on our platform so you book directly with those guides. We currently offer 400 plus trips across 40 plus countries with 50 plus vetted guides across the globe. And we're a tech first platform with a team dispersed across 3 continents, so which enables us to provide round the clock support on our trips. Although we're fairly young, we've run already 200 plus trips, 1,500 plus travelers. But I think the big thing to call out here is we boast of 99% 5-star reviews, which speaks to the curation and the vetting that we do as a team. We do run trips for a lot of online communities, influencers, but the biggest ones to point out, the biggest names in the fitness industry, we've run trips for Lifetime, Innovative Fitness, Pro Club, just to name a few. With that, I'm going to pause there and let Swiha quickly introduce Pratham before we get into the trek in Iceland and all the fun stuff. But Swiha, here you go.
Preeti, just one thing first. I think we are not able to see the slideshow. We are just seeing the main screen of the
Oh, really? Is no one able to see this slide?
No, I can see it. I think if you're on the phone, then you just have to screen, scroll to the right or the left, and then you'll be able to see the screen. I'm
Yeah,
able to see.
we're seeing the screen, but probably the slideshow itself is on a different screen, Preeti, that's not presenting on Zoom.
Oh, so you
Which
cannot see different slides?
It's
not moving for us
it's
because
not
you're in
advancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Let's
It's
see
just on
if
the
this
slide.
works. Do you guys see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Slideshow generally opens in a different window, so that's what's happening.
Got it. Okay, so I'll
All
try to
good.
keep it like this.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yes, let's do this. So we talked about AdventureTripr. We're gonna let Swiha talk about Pratham.
Thank you so much, Preeti. Hi, everyone. I'm Swiha. I'm the Regional Development Manager for Pratham USA, overseeing our Seattle and Los Angeles chapters. It's a pleasure to be here and share a bit about our great work that we do at Pratham. We are a leading global education nonprofit dedicated to improving the lives of children and youth through high-quality, evidence-based programs. Our work is primarily focused on three key areas. One is children and learning, where we work to improve basic reading, writing, and math skills for children aged 3 to 14. Then our second work is around youth and training, where we promote self-sufficiency for young adults through targeted training and job placement initiatives. And the third pillar of our work is with girls and women, where we support female dropouts over the age of 14 in completing their secondary education and earning their 10th standard diploma. Last year alone, we were able to reach close to 9 million children by working directly in schools and communities and in partnership with the state governments across 23 states in India. A bit about Pratham USA. We are a volunteer-driven organization across 14 chapters across the US. You can see the kind of the widespread reach that we have. We are primarily focused on raising awareness and mobilizing financial resources for our work on the ground. In last 12 years, we have earned a 4-star rating from Charity Navigator, which reflects our commitment to transparency and effectiveness of our work on the ground and communicating it to our supporters over here. Super excited to connect with you all over here and see how we can use this unique train and track program to spread the joy of learning and create lasting change in the communities in India.
Thanks, Swiha. And then, as Swiha alluded to, the Train and Trek program is something we're trying for the first year, collaborating with Pratham. And what we're going to do is, we will go to Iceland, do this trek, which is not the toughest trek, but not the easiest trek either. So it will require some training. And I think it's a great trek. This was the first trek I did along with my husband like 10 years ago. We had never hiked before or trekked before, but we learned about it. We trained for 2 months and we did it. But I think it's a good change in lifestyle because this is something that requires you to hike every weekend or just focus on, your fitness so that you can enjoy it. I mean, can you still do it without training? Maybe, but you'll probably not have as much fun. But if you've trained for it, you'll really enjoy it. So we said train and trek will be, how will it be different from just signing up for a trek and going for a trek? We said we will provide, extra support in terms of me not just going on the trek with the folks, but also helping folks get ready. And if someone's looking for a lifestyle change, help with that. Because that's what I've done, not just personally, but also, for organizations like ASHA and several others, help with that lifestyle change, get ready for the trek, be there. And I don't know if you are familiar with this concept, you probably see your friends training for marathons and fundraising or climbing big mountains and fundraising. So we're adopting the same concept of we would train, we will share our journey of training for this trek. And as we do that, we will share about our journey and encourage our friends to support Pratham along the way. So it's the first year we're trying it. So thanks for all of you guys, being open to trying this out with Pratham. There are benefits of trying it for the first time, and we'll get to that. But before that, why don't I talk about the destination that we picked up, and that's Iceland. Iceland. I don't know if folks here in the room have been to Iceland before. Are there folks here who've been to Iceland before? And feel free, this is just casual, feel free to put your hands up or chat. So Iceland, for those of you who've never been before, is known as the land of fire and ice. And why? Because it still has, it has all the volcanoes which are still erupting. And then at the same time, there are glaciers and there's hot springs. And so it's known as the land of fire and ice with all the glacier. And it's one of the newest, countries in terms of the land that has evolved after the geological activity. And you'll see that in the terrain is you don't even find trees there because the geology is still evolving. So you'll probably find grass, mostly little shrubs. And so it's very interesting terrain. It's very unique geology. Some of the highlights there to call out are the Golden Circle, which is where you have all the geysers. There's obviously Northern Lights, which you see mostly during the winters. But when we do the trek, which is during the summer, you have the midnight sun, which means, there's really long days, 23, 24-hour long days. The sun doesn't set. Then there is the Blue Lagoon. There's also the whole south coast, which is lots of waterfalls. There is a black sand beach. There is another beach, Jökulsárlón, where you see ice crystals which wash off on the beach. So it's beautiful. And Reykjavik, which is a capital city itself, is very vibrant, has an amazing music and food scene. So Iceland is an incredible destination. And we are talked about this. The slide's on the wrong place, so excuse me, we already talked about this program. The specific thing that we're training for, and I want to call out, is Laugavegur trek. And that is what we're doing, which is unique because even most Icelandic folks don't get a chance to see the Icelandic highlands. Most travelers, tourists who go to Iceland, they see the south coast, they go to Reykjavik, you fly into the capital city, you see the south coast and you come back. Most people don't get to see the most stunning part of Iceland, which is the Icelandic highlands. And why? Because you just can't drive there and experience it. You have to trek through it to be able to experience it. And this trek is known as one of the world's top 10 treks as rated by National Geographic. And of all the 40 plus countries that I have traveled to, this remains till date my number one experience, just because the beautiful scenery, it changes every single day. So yeah, a little bit about this trek. It is in the southern part of Iceland, so it's not too far from the southern coast, but it's the highlands. So it's in the southern part of Iceland. It starts in a place called Laugar and ends in a place called Thorsmok. And between that, it's a trail of 34 miles. So nothing too crazy. It's typically done over 4 days. So you would do around 10 miles on an average, every day if you're doing it over 3.5-ish days. So that's how it is. It's not too crazy. And it's not a lot of elevation gain. It's about 5,000 feet, but you're doing it over 3-4 days, right? So it's not too crazy. It's not that you're doing very steep. Yes, it can be longer days. 10 to 12 miles is a long day, but it's not going to be steep. The second thing to note, it's not very high altitude. The highest you will be is at 3,600 feet. We run a lot of high altitude, trips from Kilimanjaro to Everest Base Camp. This is not one of those. So altitude is not something you have to worry about. Difficulty, like I said, it's moderate. The terrain is a decent trail. I think all of us in Seattle are hikers. I don't think it will be anything too crazy for us. The only thing that will stand out is there will be some river crossings, which will be ice cold water. It can be very refreshing. The moment you put your foot into it, it'll be a shock to your system. But by the time you cross the stream, you will feel absolutely refreshed, and it will feel like, just the break or the therapy your feet needed after, a long day of hiking. So it's a unique experience. The best time to do this trek is between late June to early September. Because the other times it is not even accessible. It is under snow. And like I said, there's no vehicles that can go. But the good part is it is still a supported trek. They have super jeeps, which huge wheels, which transport your luggage for you over the trek. So you're just carrying a day pack. And we go with really experienced local guides, but our stuff will be transported. I think another thing to call out is there is no, just like vehicles cannot go other than super jeeps, you don't have any accommodations there other than huts. So there's only huts. So this is something to know of if you have never stayed in huts and you've only, done your vacations based out of the nicest hotels, this is going to feel a little bit like, roughing it out, because these are mountain huts, which will have bunk style beds. So very rustic, but trust me, it's a part of the experience. You will meet people from all over the world. And after a whole tough day's trek, you're just going to be so tired and grateful to have, a roof on your head in a place like Iceland, where even in summer, the weather can change. But they're pretty charming. The huts are clean, basic, but that is something to be aware of. This is one unique experience. If you've heard of refugios in Patagonia, in France, or huts in Italy, this definitely to be experienced at least once in a lifetime, and there couldn't be a better place than Iceland to experience what these huts feel like. But it's way better than when I did it 10 years ago. These huts get booked out more than a year out. I remember when we found out about it, me and my husband, we only got the camping option. So once the hut get booked out, you just love to camp outside those huts. And I remember, even though we were doing this in July, there was still snow. We had never camped before. We ended up having to camp on the snow. So we will at least be inside warm huts. So that is something I wanted to call out. It's not we run luxury Machu Picchu, luxury, treks as well. This is not one of those. You'll be in comfortable hotels when you're in Reykjavik. And after the hut, you will be in a comfortable, we have some days in Iceland before and after, and I'll come to that. But during the trek, you will be in those huts. The weather, like I mentioned, can be unpredictable, though we're going in summer, which means the snow has melted and the trail is open. So you're not going to be hiking or trekking in snow, nothing crazy there. But it can snow anytime still. It can be windy, so you have to have the right gear, and which is where I and my team will help get ready for it. In terms of the overall trip itinerary, the first day we arrive in Reykjavik, and then we settle in, our hotel in Reykjavik, and then the next day we drive to Landmannalaugar, and we spend the first night in a hut in Landmannalaugar. Landmannalaugar has beautiful hikes. We do about 3-ish miles of hikes in the area, because you'll see the mountains in red, blue, fluorescent green colors because of the geothermal activity. They also have hot springs there. So we will explore the Landmannalaugar area. And then we start the trek. The days 3 to 6, we're going to do the trek. On different days, you'll see different scenery, absolutely stunning. And then the details of that, I'm not sure if you guys have had a chance to look at the website and the detailed itinerary, but you can see on a daily basis the mileage that you will hike. This is the Landmannalaugar. Are you guys able to see the website on my screen? Yeah. Okay, so the 3 miles near Landmannalaugar, and then the first day is 15 miles. The first day is a tough day. It's a long day, but that's what we'll train for. But in terms of elevation gain, it's not a whole lot. It's about 1,500 feet elevation gain over 15 miles. The second day is about 10 miles, but fairly flat. The third day is again about 10 miles, again, only about 1,000 feet elevation gain. And the last is in Thorsmok, where again, you will just explore the area just like you did in Landmannalaugar when you start. This is a pretty unique area as well, some unique caves here, which we'll go explore. And that night, again, you will be moved into another, accommodation, which is not a hut. And then we spend the last day just driving through the south coast, exploring all that Iceland, typically, what you see of Iceland, the waterfalls and the black sand beach and Jökulsárlón. So you'll get to do all of that as well before we drive back to Reykjavik, spend the evening there, and the next day we head back. So that's the 8-day full trip. So the train and trek program, the extra support that we will provide is there will be a personalized training plan, which will help you get ready for this. Because we're thinking of doing this next August. There's plenty of time to train and get ready. We'll organize some group hikes for us to train together for the folks who are signed up, on this trip. We'll probably do another session for folks who are signed up on what gear. Obviously, we'll give you guys a gear list, but in terms of, any guidance you need in terms of what are the layers, what are the brands to buy, specific items to buy. Lots of gear junkies in my team will be happy to help. I'll be here to help as well. But I think the beauty of this is going to be, we will build a community around the people who are signed up. We'll be training together. We can do regular check-ins. We'll fly together. We'll have a fun time together. And then the support is, my team is available to answer any questions, help with any logistics, to get ready for this trip and make it happen. Of course, I'll be on this trip, but even otherwise, my team is available. The dates we originally managed to secure, like I said, the huts get booked out a year out, was 7th to 14th of July, but we had two couples who were very keen, but the dates didn't work for them. So we have managed to also secure the August 6th to 13th. And that is something we need consensus on, because we will run only one date right now. It's most likely the August 6th to 13th date, which works for most of the folks that I've talked to already. The cost of the trip is about $3,000, which is what goes to the guiding company. And it has limited spots. We already have a few people committed, so these will go quickly, and it's limited because of the space available. There is a fundraising commitment, and this is where we train and we support Pratham, and I'll let Sviha talk about the fundraising part. Sviha, you want to take over?
Yes. So as Preeti was mentioning, you would also be simultaneously fundraising $3,000 to support Pratham. What does that $3,000 enable us to do? First part is that you can support education of 150 children for a year through our foundational learning programs, where we focus on their maths, reading, and writing skills. As we have also depicted what does the cost per child sort of look like, which is $20. Another way that you can also support Pratham is you can support vocational training of 10 women through a skilling program, which is roughly at the cost of $300 per woman. Alternatively, you can also support education, secondary education of 10 women, and promote them to earn their grade 10 diploma, which is our second chance program, which again amounts to $300 per woman. How does that sort of look like, the campaign part of it? There's a website that we have created. You will get this link as well after the info session. Preeti will share it with you. You just basically have to go on this website and start a fundraiser. The moment you click on this, you would be routed to sign in. If you have fundraised in the past with Pratham, you can use your old credentials. But if not, you'll have to just enter your email, meet these criteria that it is listed over there. You can create this password out. Once you have signed in, it will show you that you have a fundraising page. So you can start a new page. The moment you click on this, another prompt fills up, where basically you will write your fundraising goal, which is $3,000. End date, which you can choose the end date of the trek. Maybe over here I have chosen July, but you can choose August if that's when the trek is happening. Then there is a headline for a page. You can choose whatever you want to write over here. I have written Svia's trek to Iceland, supporting the joy of learning. And you can also customize a URL based upon whatever you feel like. You can make it like your name X Pratham, or whatever you feel will appeal your audience. Once you click on that, you can also upload your photo. We recommend adding that. It just sort of creates a personalized feel for person. Else it can go as a dummy photo as well. And that's when your fundraiser page is live. It's very quick and easy. It just takes more less than 2 minutes. You can also personalize your fundraising page. By default, we have added this story, which basically talks about what you can do with your $3,000, which we have listed over here: support education of 150 children. As I said, you can choose to support 10 women through their skilling program, or have 10 women complete their education. You can feel free to customize that. We are giving that option to you. So this is how, and you can add more photos, and you can send updates to your friends to this. Just a quick thing in terms of when you're fundraising is that a lot of companies also offer matching gifts. So you can just go on our website and just select and check whether your company offers a matching grant. So whatever amount you raise, you will be able to even triple your impact out. So say you have out of 3,000, you have meet your goal of $3,000, and you have someone in your like friend circle who say work for a Microsoft or a Google, so they would be able to raise a match amount as well. So you will be able to double your impact from $3,000 to $6,000. So it's such a huge impact on that. And as a family you are registering for this trip, you do not need to create two fundraisers. You just need to create one fundraiser for $3,000. And you can highlight in your campaign story in your headline that this is as a family that you're giving back to Pratham. So these are just a quick notes around the fundraising campaign.
Thanks, Viha. I think that was perfect, on time. I do see some questions, so I'm gonna start going through the questions. The slideshow, I should have seen these before. So yes, the $3,000, Ajit, is per person. So it covers point to point. Yes, it includes. So what it does not include is your international flights. It does not include your visa and travel insurance. But right from the point you arrive, your transportation, your accommodation, your guide, all of that is included. The meals during the trek are also included. When you're in the city, typically, those are not included because you can choose to, try different restaurants. However, I'll be hosting the first night dinner in Reykjavik. So other than that, probably like the last night will not be included. Whenever you're doing the trek, that is included. So the trip details itinerary will specify, all the meals that are included. But yes, it's typically the transfers, the guides, all of that is included. The guides tips are not included, obviously. But yes, mostly it includes point to point everything. Not from Seattle, not the international flights. Any other questions? And regarding, oh, I see some more questions about vegetarian vegan meals. Yes, as long as, we can provide advance notice to the guides, they are pretty good with being able to cater to most dietary requirements. They usually have, fresh vegetables, fruits, as well. So they can cater to vegetarian meals for sure. I'm sure they can cater to vegan meals as well.
Thanks.
What else? I think I want to also call out, since this is the very first year and we came about with this idea very sort of, 2 weeks before the Pratham Gala, and we're trying this as an experiment. Going forward from next year, we're going to be very particular about the minimum fundraising requirement. This year, we will encourage and we'll keep reminding you guys to, fundraise after every training hike, and I'll be happy to support. I love taking pictures, to support with the content that you guys need and provide any support you need for the fundraiser, and, do little nudges and reminders, but we're not going to hold you to it. Since this is the very first year. So please do whatever best you can. And that is the benefit of being a part of the program in its very first year. So just want to call that out. How much weight do you probably carry in your backpack? That's a great question. So usually your pack varies between 15 to 20 pounds, because it's mostly the layers. Even though it's summer and it's a warm day, you will be carrying your puffy jacket and you'll be carrying your waterproof jackets and your snacks that you need and just personal hiking gear, water. And that itself adds up to 15 pounds, typically 15 to 20 pounds, I would say, depending on what kind of, jackets you have. But we'll be happy to provide guidance in terms of, jackets which are warm enough and do the job and waterproof enough, but not very heavy. So I'll be happy to share all that guidance, how to keep your pack light. But just a day pack, yes, 15 to 20 pounds. You're not carrying big. You're not carrying your camping gear with you, or you're not carrying your stuff for 4 days. So you're not, it's not a crazy, you're not training for weight. Do we need to carry 3 liters of water, or there will be water that can be? Yes. So I think 2 liters should suffice because there is rivers that you would be crossing, and it's not typically that hot. But if you can, it's great. We always recommend carrying a 3-liter capacity water bladder in addition to a water bottle. And then the days the guides will tell you today there's no river crossing, there's no water, so let's carry all 3 liters. But the other days they'll tell you there's a river crossing, we'll have enough sources of water along the way, maybe just 1 liter, 2 liters is enough. And then you can fill it up and filter. So filter is a great question. If you can carry a filter, and I highly recommend, there's a water bottle, a soft bottle called Be Free, which has a built-in filter. It's a soft compressible bottle, very light, but it has a built-in filter. I just use it for travels everywhere. So I'll be happy to recommend, share those names. So it's good to carry that water bottle where you can just fill it up from the river, and as you drink it filters. What other questions? How about the dates, guys? Does the August date work for folks? The August 6th to 13th, because then we'll pull down the July dates.
Oh, was it not in April?
No, you can't do it in April. It has to be only July and August.
Okay, sounds good. August is good.
Okay, because you can only do July, August, September. And I think July, because I did it in July and there was still snow. Although it starts in June, I think August is our safest bet with weather.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So Preeti, those are like middle of the week dates. Was that the intention? It's not like leaving on a Saturday and coming back.
No, I didn't even check. We usually do that, try to start our, treks weekends. But Iceland huts, it's just based on when the huts are available. When can we secure them? So the guides could secure those dates. So I haven't even checked what dates those are. I'm looking at them now. So these are August 6th. Yeah, it's middle. It's Wednesday. It starts on Wednesday. Yeah. Yeah, so you'll be taking a few days off across 2 weeks with the weekend in between, because this is just unfortunately determined by, the huts availability. The July dates were 7th to 14th, but the dates we have in August are sort of in the middle of the week, 6th to 13th.
Okay. And then we would need to fly out the day before. So arrive there on the 6th.
No, so the 8-day trip is designed such that it includes, so 6th August is you will arrive on the 6th. And Iceland, the beauty is it has a direct flight from Seattle. So
we can leave on the 6th and arrive on the 6th is what you're saying?
Because the trek starts on the 7th, exactly.
Okay.
And then if the trip finishes on the 13th, that means you're taking your flight on the 13th. Because you would be back in Reykjavik on 12th night. You'll spend the 12th night there. That's how it's designed. So 13th is the day you will be leaving. You're flying back. So 6th to 13th includes the day you arrive and leave.
Okay. And of course, if we wanted to stay back, we have the option to do that.
Okay. Exactly. Because there is the Golden Circle. Our original itinerary had Golden Circle, which people like to do before for 1 day, which is where the hot springs are. Some people like to go to the volcano, and some people like to add, it's also known for the 2 tectonic plates of 2 continents meet there. So it's a very cool experience. You can snorkel and touch both the tectonic plates of the 2 continents. A very cool experience. Some people like to do the Blue Lagoon. So if you're going all the way, if you want to add a couple days before or after, it enables you to do that.
Okay, thanks.
Alrighty, thanks, Ajit. Anyone else has any other questions? Alrighty, if not, everybody gets 10 minutes back. This was super efficient. Look out for an email with all the information. We will pull out the July dates, so folks can all book the August dates, and you know where to find us, available to answer any questions. And yeah, look forward to joining a lot of you guys on this trek and doing it yet another time. It should be fun.
Thank you, Preeti.
Thanks, everyone. Have a nice evening and a good weekend.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good week.
Thanks, Sweha. Bye.
Thank you.